Dave, you mentioned that the Rodriguez had a lot to walk away with last night. But I mean, really, the whole reason we all came was to see our guy John Batiste take home album of the year for We Are. The Grammys, they nailed it, man. They got it. Best album of the year, John Batiste.
Well, he was the most nominated group on the night. So he was expected to win some things. He did win stuff
He
before the broadcast started.
won five.
And in terms of winning album of the year, he becomes the first black man to win the category. First black artist to win the category in 14 years
14.
since 2008. Obviously, of course, Beyonce never has won during that stretch of time, Kanye, etc. So that's something.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel bad for John Baptiste in a certain sense, just because he's going to get a lot of flack because he's just significantly less famous and less well liked to the general public than all the people he beat for this award.
Yeah, nothing against him. It's just I think when you have such a mix of albums for album of the year, obviously there's going to be some that are just more popular, like you mentioned, and then people are going to be pulling for, want to see win. I actually can't say if We Are is the best album of the year last year because I didn't listen to it, so
Correct.
it
Same.
might be. I know he's a great artist. Loved his work on Soul, so shout out to him. But yeah, I can't say for We Are, but I do think, like you said earlier, the Grammys did a pretty good job last night. An award show that we constantly dunk on and just effuse how unimportant they are. I actually had a really great time the with the TV aspect of it because I feel like they had probably five to seven big artists there that you just had to have play, and they had to have a moment, and they pretty much lined five of those up right away just to like knock it out of the park. And in that first hour, just pure electricity. They've moved it along, some great wins. Got to see pretty much all the big artists you want to see. Was really impressed with that. How did you feel about the first hour, just in general?
Yeah, I think the first hour is really, really strong, really tight, and really hard to pick any holes with that, And I think some of this starts just with Trevor Noah. I thought he did a really good job hosting. He
Yeah,
was funny, but the pace of his banter, his jokes was just quick. He interacted with people out, in the crowd just enough. But I thought he did a really good job. I would love to see him host the Oscars. He seems up for the challenge. So he did well. But like you said, uh, they just packed a lot of good shit in right away. Silk Sonic kicking it off with a performance, actually a replacement performance when the Foo Fighters understandably backed out following the death of Taylor Hawkins. So nice to see Silk Sonic get added in. They probably were not super into. They probably declined an earlier invite. They had to have already been invited before, and then they said yes, last minute after the circumstances. Either way, really cool to see them play 777, given the fact that
yeah.
these Grammys were taking place in Las Vegas. Perfect idea, super easy. Hadn't even thought of that as a possibility. Really cool. And then right off the bat, too, you do Song of the Year. I like the idea of doing a big award right off the bat, similar to how the Oscars often does a supporting uh, award right away. And that's when we realized Olivia Rodrigo was not having the sweep because
Yep.
she lost to Silk Sonic. Leave the Door Open wins a Song of the Year. But then from there, what we got a Balvin performance. We got BTS doing Butter with new choreography, doing like a spy theme thing.
Yeah.
Very great. Um, and the Billy performance of Happier Than Ever was around this time, right? That was all like the first set of stuff was all really good.
Yeah, I think it was in terms of performances went Bruno, Olivia Rodrigo, Balvin, Bruno and Anderson Paak, Silk
Yeah,
Sonic, Olivia Rodrigo, Balvin, BTS, Lil Nas X, and then Billy Phineas. Actually, it might have been Balvin before Olivia Rodrigo, but somewhat
right.
in that order.
Yeah,
And man, just electric performances all around, like absolutely stunning. You mentioned the Billy performance being awesome, but man, BTS, I think I saw the most reaction to their performance online. People who are not totally in the K-pop sphere were just like blown away by
mm,
how cool and just smooth and fun they are to listen to, and that that whole like aesthetic of like the spy
yeah,
like choreography was just incredible. They bring it every single time. They're
they
just
do.
always good.
And I love like the setup too. And breaking the internet immediately. You see Taeyoung sitting next to Olivia, whispering in her ear, showing her a card. It's like, oh my god, you cannot
Yep.
teach that heat. But it was cool to see them do new choreography, not the traditional butter stuff. RM had said on the carpet that they were doing new stuff, unlike last year where they just kind of did a virtual version of Dynamite that they had been doing and stuff. And obviously, the 2020 Grammys, when they were present, they had just been there in support of Lil Nas X Old Town Roads. This is the first time they were in person actually doing one of their own songs. Great. The next step, of course, is them actually win an award. They didn't win for pop duo/group performance, although they lost to an excellent choice in Kiss Me More, Doja and SZA.
Mhm.
And in the process, you had Doja Cat being herself, really
Yeah.
funny, very crass, as you expect from her, but also a great moment. Of course, talking
Yeah.
about how she had to rush her piss out to make the stage in time.
Yeah, Doja is just so electric on the mic. Amazing. And also you get SZA up there just like on crutches, looking incredible. Just an awesome moment for them. You know, Olivia did get some shine. I thought her performance was great right off the bat. And Driver's License with the live guitars and like actual like rock music in the second half
Mhm.
adds so much more to that song. I'm so glad that they added that element to it. In the same way that Happier Than Ever just sounds so much better when you have that live element
Yeah,
as well, and the
that
visuals were
rocked for sure.
crazy.
And Billy, of course, wearing the Taylor Hawkins t-shirt
Yeah,
in tribute. Hats off there. Yeah.
I saw I saw
Good.
somebody tweet. Does Billie Eilish have the highest like likability score out of
Hmm.
like a young celebrity right now? I'm like, she might honestly. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
she
remember
hasn't
she.
made any missteps.
Yeah, I think wasn't there a clip of her saying like a racial slur when she was younger?
Mm,
She seems to have she seemed to navigate that uh,
yeah,
as best you can anyway. Um, yeah, I'd say so. Especially because like me and you are not the biggest fans of album two, Happier Than Ever. Nonetheless, it's hard not to be impressed with just about everything her and Phineas are getting up to, and like that performance, like you said, I like the addition of the guitars and the drums live, really punching up the performance, and just it looked like she was having a blast up there with her brother. That was really great. Um,
yeah.
I think and it's cool. That's a slight switch up, right? You said driver's license slightly switched up a little bit. BTS switching it up on the performance side of things. Justin Bieber also switched it up performing Peaches, but I just thought that was a really poor decision to slow down Peaches. He had plenty of other songs off Justice that would have worked with fine, if not greatly. But he had to play Peaches because it's the song that got all the nominations. But it didn't work well.
Yeah, I didn't really like that choice either, just too slow down for my liking. Especially because like the second half of the show always has problems. It's just a long award show. It's 3.5 hours. It's how do you make everything fit? And putting him, he was in like I think middle to second half. Just like you kind of needed that shot of adrenaline, especially because you have like John Batiste. Didn't Taylor perform too? I might have checked out at that point. Taylor Swift. Didn't
No,
think
she
she
was
was a
not
song.
there.
No, that's right. I saw a different clip of her performing Evermore, and someone was like, "You really want this to
Yeah.
win like awards tonight? Really?" And I was like, "I agree
You
with
know,
this take."
Taylor Swift wins album of the year last year, up once again, but can't be bothered to show up because she knew she wasn't going to win. That's just how she rolls.
Yeah, honestly, good for her. The Grammys still don't matter that much to me. But you have like Nas, right, who comes
Mhm.
out.
Didn't expect
Inter-
that.
I did not expect it to be not only for him to perform, but him to perform and just bring that much heat. I mean, he always brings it, but with like the huge band behind him, it
Right.
was just so grand and just like operatic in the best way for him. But yeah, I felt like the second half dragged a little bit. Obviously, you get the um, in memoriam, Ben Platt, Cynthia Erivo, a couple other people up there
Leslie
singing.
Odom and
Yep.
Rachel Zegler, the
Oh yes.
Grammys, inviting her from the jump. Just like they also had Zelensky from Ukraine, something the Oscars didn't actually do. I couldn't help but think about how this was running so much better than the last Oscars a few times.
Yeah, well, there also wasn't a huge, like gigantic shift in terms of
Of
attitude in
course.
the place,
Yep.
but we don't need to harbor that. Yeah, I mean, what other win stood out to you? I mean, I guess there's
Mm,
one for me that I was really excited about, which was Jasmine Sullivan won
yeah,
for
R&B
was
album.
it, yes, best R&B album, which she seemed genuinely shocked, and just an awesome moment and great recognition. I was like, they're getting
Right.
some stuff right here.
And she won via tie one of the other R&B song categories beforehand. Those two wins, her first wins after not winning off like the last 12 nominations over the course of her career. But again, Hotel's winning R&B album, justly earned. It was a great record. Kiss Me More winning, great record. Leave the Door Open. It's not my favorite Silk Sonic song, but you can't argue with it. Baby Keem winning for Family Ties, great moment. I really loved him going up in the speech and having that moment.
Yeah.
Tyler winning best rap album again for
Yes.
Call Me If You Get Lost, the correct choice. Rap melodic, you had Kanye, Baby, and Weekend winning for Hurricane, the correct
Mhm.
choice. I was actually just kind of impressed with, for the most part, they kept making the right call. And then John Baptiste
Yeah.
happens at the end, but for the most part, they did well.
I know, it was like Grammys, of course, are going to Grammy. Um, yeah, no, I honestly was very pleased with the winners last night, the show in general. Gotta say, for all the shit we give the Grammys, we have to give them credit because I really think they
Mm,
nailed this.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, any other thoughts on this?
So I
Anything
had a
else?
few notes, just negatives. I would say, notice I saw this a lot online. Draco the Ruler was not in the in memoriam. Really bad omission, given that he was murdered at a industry event and also had all his issues with the legal system in life, like super influential West Coast rapper, to not even put him in there. Been stupid. If you remember how the in memoriam went, whenever rappers came up or hip hop people came up, they got the loudest cheer. Young Dolph got a huge pop, for example. To not have Draco there is really
Yeah.
stupid. I would
Also,
also, yeah, go ahead.
Joey Jordison from Slipknot wasn't in there, and he was pretty.
Right.
I saw a lot of people online reacting to that.
Yeah, that's another one for sure. Also, just so from what we understand, best rap album was supposed to be given out on the broadcast. They made the change last minute, went to the rap performance category that Keem won instead. Because Keem was present, Tyler wasn't because Tyler's out on tour right now. Um, Kind of odd. I'd also say that the Musica Urbana category should not be given out before the show either. Bad Bunny won that, just like he won that last time. Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists in the world. You should want him on stage. Like it just really stupid call. Um, Also, uh, yeah, I just think like there's like some of these changes where it's like honestly like uh, do you cut out a performance to make room for stuff like that? I don't know because you still gave out best country album. Country's a big genre, not genre we care about, but it's a big genre. I feel like you should give out these big genre categories, all of them, including they don't give a best rock album either. Like you should give all those out. I feel like, but generally the Grammys is like was like an advertisement for pop music more than anything else, and I think these Grammys were very successful in that regard. But in terms of like honoring stuff, obviously I have some of those kind of notes here. Shout out Chris Stapleton though, becomes the first solo act to win Best Country Album 3 times. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, your point about getting the stars on stage, I totally agree. They definitely could have cut out that final performance. I thought that was a weird choice to have, John Baptiste win, and there was another performance
Yeah,
afterwards that
Brothers Osborne.
I just turned the TV off
So did
immediately.
I.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I definitely think they could have done some things differently, but overall, very pleased. Also, we didn't really talk about it. Anderson Paak and Bruno Mars together just are so fun. Like
Yeah,
they were joking around with Trevor Noah. I thought that was a great bit where he's talking to Anderson, just kind of ignoring Bruno. And just every time
second
they got on
speech was so
stage,
funny.
yes, like we're trying real hard to stay humble,
Yeah.
but we call that a sweep. It's like,
In the industry, we
yes,
call that a clean sweep.
talk
Yeah.
your
Also,
shit.
Anderson's wig was great.
Yeah, fantastic. Just great stuff overall. Also,
Hmm.
that he got to, dedicate it to his mom who died earlier in the week.
Yep.
Thought that was really, really nice. So, Grammys, surprising win this
Hmm.
year. So we'll take it.
Yeah. Next year, it's the Adele Grammys. We already know.
Yeah.
We already know how it goes.
Yeah, you and I were talking last night about usually the best album category or winner is kind of boring, and then we were like, oh wait, but it's Adele next year, so it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it in 2024.